All right, I'm about to go out to get my garbage cans. Now, what our sick country does is get your surrounding neighbors to gang stalk. And every time I go out of my house, a gang stalker will either be coming out of their house, going into their house, passing in front of my house, driving into their driveway, driving out of their driveway. That's called same time exit entry gang stalking, and it's what our corrupt government does. We have to expose not only what they do in the neighborhood, which is try to socially isolate people they arbitrarily pick. It could be a mother who spoke out at a PTA meeting, because that's what they're doing in America. They're letting neighbor report neighbor. In other words, if a sociopath neighbor doesn't like another neighbor because they have a different personality, because they have a different value system, that person will embellish. In other words, they want that neighbor out of the neighborhood, maybe because they stimulate tendencies in the person which is unconscious. For instance, when I lived on Massachusetts Drive, I had one neighbor who was working 2 jobs, very, very cheap, and I would be sleeping till 11 o'clock in the morning. She didn't know, because I went to bed at 5 a.m. in the morning oftentimes. And I wasn't a person that money is not my God, so I spend money freely. And she thought I interpreted this as my being rich, not anything of the sort. And so because of her own unvalidated unconscious parts of herself, which she was not conscious of, that she wanted to sleep until 11 o'clock in the morning, not to have 2 jobs, to have to, send her kids to college on her sweat, the sweat of her brow. So she wanted what I was, and, seeing me there doing these things stimulated her unconscious and was starting to make it conscious, which would have disrupted her whole life. So she had to get me out of the neighborhood. So she went along with the sociopath fireman, who was just a plain sociopath, who made up lies about me and started my gang stalking. So I say that my gang stalking started with a mobbing fireman and is with a sociopath fireman and his mobbing friends. So this is what causes violence, whether it's psychological violence or the violence of getting somebody on a watch list who doesn't belong on a watch list, or whatever it is. It's the unvalidated unconscious. It's a person having a shadow, not being consciously aware of parts of themselves because they never had an environment that would allow them to actualize, to verbalize those parts of themselves. So when I go out into the neighborhood right now to get my garbage cans, what I'm going to be seeing is people that Eric Fromm describes in the video that I just posted today on a lot of different sites. And these are people who are unconscious. They are unconscious that they have not actualized, developed their own personalities. That's why they need the group. They need to gang stalk, because that group gives them an identity that they don't have. Unfortunately, our school system doesn't help people to arrive at an identity by unfolding their personality. In other words, this is not just one anomaly in a well society. Gang stalking is part of systemic failure of our society on a political level, that we have the elites in control rather than the people, on an economic level, that we have an exploitative economic system that treats people like objects, on an educational level, that our education is a mass education system that doesn't unfold individuality. All right, let's go out and see who the gang stalkers are today. Okay, now here I am going out to get my garbage, and there is somebody that's just coming in, and I won't say anything about it because I never say that individuals are gang stalkers, but I have challenged investigative reporters to do this. You see this street? Well, there's many different streets in my development of Costa Serena. Take any other street. Pick a particular house that goes out like I do once a day. Then take a look when they go out and get their garbage, and take a look at this one person. In other words, you're going to compare me to one other person on another street like mine in Costa Serena, and see if when they go out to get their garbage, there's a person there. And do that every time that I go out of my garage to leave my house. Take a look, and you will always see a person there, because I'm being gang stalked. And it's my surrounding neighbors. I won't use the word all because I don't say that individuals are gang stalkers, and I couldn't use that word without saying that all the individuals are gang stalkers. So I won't use that word. I'll just say to investigative reporters, take a look. All right, let's do this scientifically and see if I'm right about my being gang stalked every time I come out of my house. This is going on in the United States of America. We can use this crisis to change America because this is the height of hypocrisy. We say that we're a free country, and then we have a Stasi, and we gang stalk people, and we get their neighbors to socially isolate them by gang stalking them every time they leave their house. When we reveal this, ladies and gentlemen, this can provoke change in America. Then we can get the reforms like proportional representation and not having an elitist society, an oligarchy, where the rich, now we have government of the few, by the few, for the few, and they make the decisions for us. And because there's no accountability in the American government, that's the only reason why they can get away with this. There is no accountability. We don't have government of the people, by the people, for the people. We have an oligarchy. All right, so let's reveal this. Investigators, do your investigation, and I'm going to take in my garbage cans.